Welcome to the Spellwork Archives with Arzuli Anala, and this is Mr. Dapper Pt.3. If you have not enjoyed Parts 1 and Parts 2, please go back and do so. So after I learned that Mr. Dapper had intentions on embodying the fella, I became very curious as to how would he embody this man? I mean, you do not know too many people who are just going to allow an ancient entity to embody or inhabit their flesh. I mean, it's kind of scary if you ask me. And as I paid attention to things going on after his revelation, I noticed that my fella, he was a rapper, but he started writing me all kinds of love songs. I mean, ballads, like really nice songs. I mean, they were flattering and it just made me feel so desired. But now you all keep in mind that me and this fella, we weren't as intimate as a regular couple. I mean, in that time, I was still grieving my son, and opening my legs just was not at the top of my list. And I'm not saying we hadn't fooled around and we didn't know each other in that way, but it was just not an everyday thing in our relationship. We were more into moon gazing and ritual practices and sitting out on the grass grounding. I mean, we were so connected on a soul level that when we laid in the bed together, we'd often wake up from the same exact dream. And we got so used to it happening, once we would wake, one would begin the story so that the other could finish, and they would match perfectly. This is how close we were soul-wise. And I mean, I understood why Mr. Dapper would choose him, because I was infallibly in love with this man, and it was reciprocated. So I got it. And I also understood that this man held a certain God body, that if I was a spirit and I wanted to be with a woman, I would definitely choose him. So I got it. And Mr. Dapper did not waver or fail at all in protection, providing, and being a lover to me. And this is where confusion would set in with me, because I did not understand how a spirit could make me feel the way Mr. Dapper felt. I mean, I was giddy with him like a schoolgirl with her first crush. The way that he shared with me, and I am one that is intrigued and turned on by knowledge, and he had that. And together we sit and we learned from one another, because he was learning me on a deeper level than I guess he knew before. But I became very curious as to how were we this connected. And of course, you know, when you open yourself up to information, it's almost like that scripture that says, seek and you shall find, ask and you shall receive, knock and the door shall be open unto you. So one day I decided to go home to my loft and take a break from the little house in Citadel, Texas, where we used to do all of our spiritual things. And you all know that spiritual work sometimes can be draining. I needed to go home to my loft, draw a hot bath, and just sit with myself. And really, to be honest, I was kind of closing communication off for Mr. Dapper as well, because I needed some time. So as I sit there that day, I'm scrolling on TikTok and I come across a video, and I know for a fact that this was not by chance. This video was destined for me to see. And in this video, there was a beautiful woman, and she was explaining to the people about her spirit spouse. And also the fact that she had more than one, but they all held roles and had different positions in her life. And one of them had come here with her as she was conceived and bore onto this planet. And she described how this one was a tricky one, that he was very protective over her. And because of his connection to her, every relationship that she had ever tried at as a physical being had failed, or some of the spouses that she entertained or became engaged with would die tragically. And she was explaining that she eventually learned that this spirit spouse was why, and it was nothing she could do about it. He was hers, and she was his. Now, this enraged me because every relationship that I'd ever been in, and it had not been many, had failed horribly. And I had 2 beloved spouses to pass, but the one that broke my heart the most was my daughter's father. He was my beloved. We were young love, and we conceived a beautiful child, and we had plans for our future, plans for our children, plans for life. And he was tragically unalived. One day, out of nowhere, he was gone. And this broke me and pained me so. Now listen closely, because as I am mulling these facts of my life over, Mr. Dapper showed up, but this was not at 2:22 a.m. It was at 2:22 p.m. And when he showed up, he was in a very melancholy and somber way. He was not his usual Mr. Pimp, Mr. Suave, Mr. Swagged out. He was apologetic, and he was apologetic to me because of my love. My daughter's father, James, he explained to me that he thought in that time that James was perfect. He held a certain God body, a certain stature that he thought he could embody. But because James was not on that spiritual level, that conscious level, it failed. And this is why he was unalived tragically. It was not done on purpose, and he was apologetic. But he promised me that this fella that was in my life was not by chance, and he did indeed choose him. So when I was curious and I wondered, did these 2 plan this? Did they seek me out for this mess, for this love triangle of sorts? I was right, but it was for my own good, because he wanted to give me everything that I had desired as a spiritual being, having this human experience. He wanted to take me to heights physically that I've never been. I've come close, but I have not been to these places. And this is also why me and the fella had not become intimate, because what he had in store for me was yet to come. But I let him know, listen, I do not know what your plan is, and I am very disappointed at my findings, as I've said with myself. And I need some time. I need some time to think. He said to me, he said, listen, I'm going to embody this fella, and it's going to be done in parts. And in these parts, you will realize, and it will start with melodies, because I am a minister of music. You know that song by Beyonce, Dangerously in Love? Yes, I orchestrated that. I have the same thing for you as I gave her. And I need you to prepare and get ready. You really don't have a choice.